What's up? It is MsDevotedTiff. I am back. Just got through with Real Housewives of Potomac, and so now I'm ready to bring my thoughts to you. Tonight's episode, the saga continues. And so the episode starts with Karen. Sorry, I'm getting my notes up, you guys. The episode starts with Karen, and she is calling Ashley to invite her to come with her to her event at home. She gets to be the grande dame of the parade, and she invites Ashley and lets her know she's bringing Giselle also. Now, right off top, I thought those were two interesting choices because her and Giselle are more like frenemies. I guess I get Ashley because they are on the same side of the Monique situation. I thought it was interesting she didn't bring Monique since she seems like she's so team Monique right now, but part of me feels like, well, one, Monique still needs to decompress, but two, Karen ain't no fool. She acts like she team Monique, but she probably like, well, I need to see that you done calm down first before I bring you home to meet my people, because I don't need you embarrassing me, and that's why I think she didn't bring Monique. Of course, Giselle was being shady in the interviews during that time, saying, we get to go to the country and see where she's from. And Giselle act like she was in this big city. Lady, you from New Orleans. That's country too. Anyways, it shows them at their different moments in the day. Excuse me. And Giselle's talking to Juan, update him about the ring, which I find so interesting because with this whole tax thing that has come out about Robyn, it's like, what's gonna happen with the marriage? And then we just saw the mid-season trailer for showing what's happened in part 2 of the season, and he's saying I'm done, and he let her hand go. So is there gonna be an engagement? Is there gonna be a ring? Is there gonna be continuing down that path of the two of them? We shall see. We see Wendy speaking at an event, like seeing the ladies in their different element outside of the drama between each other, so that was dope. And then we go back to Karen. And so she's getting for the road trip, and Ray makes a comment, I see you got some goodies for the ladies. Now, let me know what y'all's thoughts were. I thought he said that on purpose because we have been seeing in the past episodes, one of his biggest things is now all of a sudden she don't have time to cook. So if I was Ray, I would feel like that's even more of a, she's worried about appearances or looking good to other people and like a one more nail in the coffin because you told me don't get used to cooking for me, but you got like food here for them. I just thought that was interesting that he pointed that out. And so then Ashley arrives. She's looking good, getting her snatch back going, and she was saying it was her first time leaving the baby overnight. But since it was only 2 hours away, she felt like she could handle that. But then she says, well, last time I went out of town, that's when Michael was acting, like he didn't have no wife. And so she was a little concerned about that. And she said, well, little does he know he has a tracker in his booty. And then she says, and it slid in, what did she say? That it slid right in. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, why are you shading your own husband? We have all these rumors out here about him. So why would you say that? Why would you say it slid right in? And then make the sound effect too. That girl is a trip. But I don't think that's gonna stop Michael from doing his thing because he's been doing it. And she was saying, well, he knows he has a lot to lose, but he knew he had a lot to lose before, and he still did it. So I don't know. He's a little too old to be turning over a new leaf in that department. So we got to figure out what Miss Ashley's gonna do. So then Giselle arrives, and she makes a comment that I also thought was interesting, and I even said that in my last review, that she's taking Ashley and Giselle to see her hometown and to this special moment, and she didn't even invite Ray. And I had said that the last time. I was like, it's so interesting. She was telling Ray about it, and then she said, but yeah, I'm gonna invite the girls, I think. And it seemed like Ray was expecting her to say she was gonna invite him, but she did not. And it's so interesting because she's saying she wants to reconnect with him, and so y'all have a chance to go on a trip together, see your people and all that, and you don't even invite him. You want to make it like a thing for the show, like a little mini girls trip for the show. So I found that to be interesting. Let me know what y'all think about that. Also, Ray was being shady. Ray, I told y'all he's like the most shady character on the show. And he was like, okay, well, all right, it's about that time. The car is here. Like, he was trying to like rush her. And I was like, is he just being sarcastic, or is he acting like Michael when she's gone? Like, because you know, ain't nothing like a bored man or a man that feels ignored. He will go somewhere and find somewhere where he feels like he's being appreciated or getting attention shown to him. So I was like, I don't know what to think about him rushing her off. He might have some younger and tender, some sugar baby waiting when she leave. I hope not, though. But she tried to give him a kiss before he closed the door. He just closed the door, and it was real obvious. And it was so obvious she couldn't even hide it and put on her little grand dame face, her grand dame face. She was like, "Did y'all see that? Like, he just left me hanging with the kiss." And Ashley was like, "Oh, you must have reached your quota for the day." Dang. Shots fired. That's really sad, though. So then we go to Candace, and Robyn stops by. So this scene was really interesting to me. As soon as Robyn sits down, she's like, "So you know we got together the other night, huh?" And she just kept it real for Candace. She was like, you know, Monique didn't show any remorse. And I think I think Candace was genuinely shocked that still, after she'd had a moment to cool off or whatever, that Monique still is not showing remorse. And I think she expected her, even if she was still mad at her for putting her hands on her, I think she expected her to, even if she hadn't heard from her, that maybe she had at least confided to the girls that she felt bad about what she did and that she had planned to reach out to her. I think that's what Ashley was thinking, that she was eventually going to reach out. But after, you know, and I almost wish, because I think Robyn said it to get a reaction out of Candace. I think she said it to be a little bit of the bone. She's definitely the Surry of the girls, and I think she did it to be like the bone carrier and to kind of stir up even more tension and drama. Like, well, you know, she said she ain't have no remorse, girl, so what you gonna do? I feel like that was the energy. It wasn't like, you know, trying to look out for your friend, you know, still be careful because she's still not sorry. It was like she couldn't wait to say, girl, she still ain't got no remorse. You know, that's how I felt about that. And Candace was very like, you know, bothered by it, and she was like, well, you know, let's change the subject. And so she was like, but she tried to bring it up subtly, but not so subtly. She was like, is everything okay with you? Because I did see, but Robyn didn't really try to, you know, sidestep it. She was like, yeah, girl, we got in some tax trouble. And she basically was saying, well, they were showing the different clippings in the news articles, and she was saying that she was filing her own taxes, and not only did she file them wrong, but she also forgot to report some of her income. First of all, I feel like if you are on one of these shows, it's been enough of the other ladies on the shows that have had tax issues, including her. This is not even her first time having tax issues and filing bankruptcy and all of that. Why would you, I mean, I'm assuming that you ain't broke. Why would you choose to file it yourself instead of getting a professional? That's one. Two, how you forget a chunk of money that's big enough that the IRS is going to be like, where is that? Three, how do you just, oh yeah, I did it myself. She don't even seem like she feels that bad about it. She's just like, oh yeah, oops, uh-oh. Like, that is crazy to me, you know, like, and I'm not rich and balling like that. So maybe it's easy to forget chunks of money that you made when you're making a certain amount of money. But to me, that just seems crazy. Like, how do you forget? How do you not report it? And Candace said it best in the interview. She was being shady, but she was telling the truth. She was like, weren't you the one saying to Karen, well, hey, Karen, how do you not know what's going on? How do you not file it correctly? How do you not turn in what you're supposed to turn in? But, hey, I guess karma is a you-know-what, because now she got the issues. So then we go back to, it comes out Candace lets Robyn know that Karen did advise her to press charges. And she asked her, well, are you? And she said, well, it's on the table. Because she was like, well, you know, this attack happened to me and I didn't see it coming. Now, I am on Team Candace, for sure. But I wouldn't go as far as saying that I believe her when she says she didn't see it coming. Either she thought that Monique would never do it, but with the way the scenario was, when they was up in each other's face, like everybody knows when it's that close, it is potential for it to come to blows. It's not like you're going to walk around and say, oh, it's no way it's going to get physical, even though we're in each other's face and we're touching each other. Like, that's just the natural progression. Is it right? No. Especially like grown-ass, like 30, 40-something-year-old women. Like, we're not teenagers. We're not 20-year-olds. Like, come on. But I was like, no, I don't know about that, Candace. I don't know about the super shock about it coming. I can't agree with you there. So then we go over to Karen, and she's just talking about pride of her family story that, you know, they had slave land that they now own. And so basically it's been in their family because they were slaves on it and now they own it. There's so much I want to say about that, but I don't want to come off as like I'm hating on the skin tone. But I will say the fact that most likely based off of their skin tone, the master was probably sleeping with, that may have helped that situation. Let me just say I'm not shocked they were able to inherit that land because I feel like they're partially related to slave owners. And it's not their fault, of course. It was horrible things that happened. It was not by choice. It was a lot of rape and stuff happening. But I just found it really interesting. You see her family, and they're all like super, super bright. And I was like, dang. And then you see Ashley and Giselle, they just fit right in. But, you know, there are some areas that it's just like that. So, moving on before y'all come for me in the comments. I was just making observations. Y'all know y'all noticed it too. Y'all know y'all noticed it too. So they get to see her, and Giselle was like, you know, she likes the fact that they were able to see like that down-to-earth, non-grand dame side of her. I love Karen. Even when she's being grand dame-ish, and even when she is being a little more chill, hey sister girl, like, I just feel like she's able to seamlessly go back and forth between all the different facets of a woman. I mean, I do feel like she might be buying a little into Monique's fake, oh, I feel so bad for what I did to you ladies, but I'm not feeling bad what I did to Candace. I think she's buying into the BS a little bit too much. But other than that, I'm cool with Karen. So her family's talking, showing pictures, sharing memories of a Michael Jackson concert. Then they go on some type of tractor on their farmland, and that was cute. Then Monique calls Ashley, and so she's like, yeah, I wish I could be there. How are you guys doing? What's going on? And she asked her how she was feeling, and she's saying, you know, that she's still, you know, trying to just take it all in and calm down and all that. But then in the middle of that, which goes back to what I was just saying, she don't really feel like she needs to change, because as soon as she has a moment, instead of focusing on herself and that she got violent, all she is saying is, yeah, the sad thing is about Candace, if it wasn't me, it would have been somebody else. It's like, why are you even saying that? Why are you even bringing that up? Like, what about that situation are you not getting that you are responsible for you putting your hands on somebody, and trying to almost act like, well, it just so happened to be me, it could have been anybody. Like, that is so downplaying and disregarding the severity of what happened. And I also feel like with Candace, she gives the energy she gets. Now, Candace has been apologizing every time Monique came to her correct. Even when Monique didn't come to her correct and was like at the campfire when she was overreacting and she was only giving Candace a hard time about the girls sitting inside and talking during the bonfire. Even then, Candace was like, you know, I'm sorry if you feel like I was sequestering the girls. Even when she didn't even deserve that apology, But my point is, when you sit down with Candace, woman to woman, have a conversation, she's going to apologize. It's not going to come to blows unless you're the one saying reckless stuff. And even with her saying, so you're going to drag me, she was referencing to when Monique first brought that up a while back and was like, I'm going to drag you pregnant at all. So basically, Candace was throwing Monique's words back in her face. But if outside of that, if that never happened and it was just, regular banter, regular conversation, Candace is not getting into situations where other people want to fight her, because Candace knows how to have a mature conversation. Even when they was at Ashley's Sip and See, and they were trying to have a mature conversation with Monique about Charisse, she got up and walked away. So it's usually Monique the one that's not willing to have the mature conversation. And we'll see more about that when we talk about her conversation with the pastor. And I was here for everything the pastor said, by the way. So Giselle got upset about Monique saying that, and she was saying that this is why I don't want to be around her. This is why this whole thing pisses me off, because even now she's still saying stuff like she's not sorry. And Karen was saying, she's kind of done with it. She just, her hands are off of it. But she also confirms in that moment that she did say to Candace that, if it was me and if I felt threatened or if I felt attacked, I would look into legal action. And it's like, whoa, because she's over here stroking Monique's back. But she's over here telling Candace, yeah, I would have pressed charges. And Ashley was like, does Monique know that? And Karen was like, no, but I am going to tell her. And in the interview, and I kind of agree, in the interview, Ashley was like, yeah, I feel like Karen knew what she was doing, because she knows that Monique looks up to her like a mother figure, or maybe a big sister figure, auntie figure, whatever. And she knew that if Karen is saying this, that maybe it's something to look into. I kind of agree that Karen might have been playing both sides of the fence a little bit. And I know it's hard being in the middle of two friends, but I don't know if I would have went as far as suggesting that to her. So that was a little suspect, not gonna lie. So then we go to Wendy. And she is meeting with her bestie, and she's, continuing to have this conversation of she don't think she wants to go back to being a professor. She enjoys commentating, but she don't really have a plan as exactly what she wants to do. She just knows she don't want to continue doing what she was doing. And she's terrified of telling her mom, because she knows her mom is not going to be pleased, because her mom wants her good paying, either a professor or a doctor or a lawyer. And so this would be deviating from the plan that her mom had for her. And a lot of my friends that are first generation Americans, their parents do put that pressure on them, it's really expensive to make this transition. I did it so you could have more opportunities. And so in order to show you appreciate these opportunities, this is the kind of job you need to get, because this is the job that's going to make sure that I can get my money back, or that us moving over here wasn't a waste. I didn't move to another country for you to just be working at McDonald's, because you could have done that back where we're from. So I'm sure that's a tough situation to be in. And so what she did was practice having the conversation she wants to have with her mom, with her friend. And it was funny, because she was doing a really good impersonation of her. But by the end, Wendy was crying, because Wendy was like, I feel like I'm having a midlife crisis, but I feel like I just need to kind of go and explore and see what would make me happy, what I would want to do. And I know I don't have a plan. So I think she's really stressed about disappointing her mom, but dang, you did what she wanted. Now it's time to live for you. So I hope she figures it out. So then we go to Robyn, and her and Juan have a date, but she comes in dressed different, and she's doing a little role-playing moment. I'm a fan. That's TMI, isn't it? So yeah, so she introduces herself as Tatiana, and first Juan is laughing, but he goes along with it and says that he is Dylan, or DJ. So they have their little moment. Things are going good. He's enjoying the role playing. And then she brings up the tax situation. You just kind of see his energy shift. I was like, why would she bring that up? Like, y'all was doing good. Y'all were on this date night to get away from the tax situation. Why are you bringing that up? But she ends up, saying thank him. She thanks him for, being understanding while she goes through the process. And so they seem like they're going to be okay, because I was a little worried that it might shift the energy back again, because obviously this is preventing them from being able to take steps as soon as they want to with the house that they wanted to get together. And obviously she's having tax issues, they're not going to want to, give her a house. So that was that. We going back to Karen. She's at homecoming, and Ashley is trying to ride with her, and she's like, oh, well, you're not from Surry. So she puts them to the side of the road, and so they're having their little moment, kind of, laughing at Karen being so proud of being a part of this parade in this small town. And Giselle's like, well, hey, she made it, She's like Beyonce to this town because she's a small town girl and she married well, and now she got some perfume. So she like Beyonce to them. I was like, gosh, Giselle is so shady. But then that kind of takes them into a conversation of, talking about the differences in Ray and Karen, because they're at two different situations. They're at two different stages in their life right now. Ray has done what he's done. He's lived his full life. He raised his kids. He's, has his businesses, and he's ready to chill. And speaking of chill, shout out to Cynthia getting married and Mike. He's ready to chill, and she is kind of getting her second wind, getting ready to get it ramped up. And so they were saying, well, who he married, that's not who she is right now. She's somebody totally different. And Ashley was saying, well, I'm dealing with the same thing right now because now I'm a mom. I'm not who I was when he met me, So now I'm looking at things a little differently. And I hear a lot of women say that once you become a mother, it's like your survival mode or well, I want to do what's best for my child. I don't want to be in a situation that would not be good for my child. So they think a little bit more like a future and long term and about respect. And it's like, when it was just me is one thing, but I'm not finna have my child in no unhealthy, toxic situations. So I think Michael Darby needs to be a little careful because it's nothing like a mother's love. A good mother's love. And so she might not put up with as much. And she said in this scene, she's like, we got to figure this out. But, if this happens again, I'm going to be a single mom. So she sounds like she's prepared to do what she got to do for her and her child. So, we go back to Karen, and she's holding a baby child. She's like, she keep clapping. It's like, are you clapping for yourself? Because people aren't clapping on the parade route. But you can tell she was enjoying being home, and, it was really like a proud moment for her. So that was cool or whatever. So then we go back to Candace, and she's with her mom, and they're having a good moment for a change. She and Chris are considering getting a dog before they get a child, and see how they do as dog parents. So they're at an agency looking to see what dog they can adopt, and so they found a cute little Chihuahua. And while they're, spending time with the Chihuahua, her mom, which was not able to get there as soon as she heard everything that happened, but she's there now, and she wants to have this conversation with Candace and like, this situation ain't cool. You were in an environment where somebody thought it was cool to just put their hands on you. Like, we don't do that. We just get the lawyers involved. And so Candace she seemed like she was a little hesitant, but she was like, yeah, no, you're right. And I agree that she, if she does feel like, and here's my thing, because kind of like the code is, well, we fought, we squashed it, we're done, we're not going to turn it into a thing, you apologize, or we just have beef, or we just don't talk no more. But I feel like the fact that she found out she's not remorseful, she's thinking in her head, well, if I'm going to be shooting with her, she could do this again. Or she said she wants to kill me, so when she gets another chance, she might attack me again. So I need to have something on file, some type of paper trail or record, because I don't know what she's going to do, because she don't even feel bad for what she did. And I think that's why she wants to press charges. Again, I don't know if I would, but I could see why she would. because she hasn't apologized, she don't feel bad. So let me know what y'all think about that and about Candace pressing charges. So then we're back to Karen, and this scene was really sad. She continued to show them around her city. She takes them back to the church that her dad's funeral was in, and the last time she was in that church was for her dad's funeral. You know, and she was just talking about basically when she found her relationship with God, and that, you know, first she was quiet, but you know, she kind of had her moment. And she feels a lot more confident about whatever she has to face because she can really, literally feel the presence of her parents standing next to her. And that was super powerful. And she went in the back and she cried in the deacon's office. I love how they showed the door saying deacon and she's back there crying. It's not funny, but it's funny. And so I do appreciate her sharing that because grief is tough and, you know, it takes a while. Everybody has their different grief journey, but you just you don't know. There's all type of things that can trigger reminders. And it's especially when it's somebody as close to you as your parents, like your own flesh and blood like that. So I appreciate her being vulnerable and showing that. I'm sure she helped a lot of people that are still grieving by showing her grieving process that it's still not done, even though it's almost been a year. So then we go to probably my favorite scene of this episode when she met with her pastor. And I feel like the pastor, he must have been her pastor for a long time because he knew her well. He read her rights in the most straightforward but like gentle way. And it's like she can't argue with him and be combative with him how she is with the other girls. So even if she didn't want to eat all of his words, she would pick the parts that she did agree with. But I wrote down some of the things he said because he was really on point. He was saying that she's used to orchestrating, controlling, and dominating. And so basically that when she can't, because she's used to having to, she had like a period when she was a child that she was bullied and she always had to defend herself and fight, that part of her will come out when she can't like control the situation. When she feels out of control, she wants to resort to defending herself like she did from the bullies. You know, and I can see that to a degree because she does always seem like on the defense, like she don't want to be vulnerable or admit when she's wrong, even with her husband. Like she'll shrug off stuff that she should take seriously and she'll kind of like explain it away like no big deal. And I feel like she really don't see how aggressive she is because what she was even trying to say to the pastor was, you know, I shouldn't let nobody take me there, and even if she's this and this, kind of putting it on, it was Candace's fault that she reacted the way she did instead of hers. And the pastor was very adamant that it had nothing to do with her. She said, and this is the part that really got me, he said, in your own mind, you're ideal, and it frustrates you that they're not impressed with you. Woo! Because Monique does feel herself, and she does feel like, you know, she's all that in baggages. Don't get me wrong, she is drop dead. I think she's probably one of the most beautiful, naturally beautiful housewives that of all the franchises. Like she is stunning to me, and I love that she's a little more chocolate, even though she's been lightening up since season 1. But she is like completely stunning to me, and so I think he nailed it. And she started crying, and she was like, "No, he's right. I do." It doesn't have anything to do with her. This is all me. And even Chris was like, you know, I feel bad because I haven't reached out to Chris yet, and we are actually legit friends. He's probably wondering what's going on with me. And I like that he didn't try to defend her to the pastor because he knew his wife. He knew everything the pastor was saying was on point. And so she was saying, you know, that she needs to apologize to her because it wasn't her fault. She finally admitted that it was just kind of a buildup of things in her own life or from her own past that got her to that point of reacting. So I hope that she takes it to heart, because when I saw her watching What Happens Live last week, she still was kind of trying to explain stuff away, but that might have been more of a pride or ego thing. But I think in that moment that she really, the pastor really was making headway with her, and that he was able to kind of break through her shell of whatever she was asking for it, to actually make her look at herself and like, this girl didn't deserve this. So I appreciate that he kept it real and wasn't trying to pacify the rich member that can afford to pay the high tithes. that he didn't want to just sell her what she wanted to hear. So yeah, it was a good episode. I mean, obviously not as dramatic as the previous two, but it was enough. I'm happy they're allowing everything to unfold after such a big event. And the season part 2 is just getting started. So let me know what your thoughts are, if you agree or disagree. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to check out more of my reviews and more of the other type of content that I do. I do comedy, I do music, I do dance parodies and choreography. So it's a lot of interesting artistic, creative stuff on my page mixed in with pop culture. So we'll catch you guys next Sunday. Bye.